Hello everyone and welcome to this video. In this video I'm gonna talk a little bit about my setup and how I play my Beorning. I will mainly talk about PvP as I spend most of the time in the moors. Let's begin with my armor and jewelry setup. I'm using full moors gear because I think the Beorning is in a very bad spot when being crowd controlled and mainly stunned or dazed, as the only skill you got when being stunned or dazed is the shake free skill, which will do nothing but get rid of your stun or daze. And this skill got a very clunky lengthy animation as well, as you can see. As you might have noticed, my morale is very high due to the many morale essences I use. I'm using morale essences, finesse essences, crit essences, and physical and tactical mitigation essences. As you can see, I'm not using any mastery or might essences, and because of that my physical mastery is extremely low. But in my opinion, a Beorning's damage is mostly affected by high damage critical burst skills, and besides, the damage I do is quite high anyway. In my opinion, it's high enough. I did a short testing in Dol Amroth to show you my DPS with this low mastery. It is surely not my best DPS output, but just watch. The first thing you need to do is get your Wrath high, and then every time your execute procs, make sure to use it as fast as possible, because this will highly increase your damage. You notice sometimes there are short spikes or gaps between the main hitting skills like Trash, Bash, etc. And these I fill with skills like Nature's Wagons or this yellow skill up there. Or other skills like Thunderous Roar. If you watch closely, you will see that there are that skills like Bash, Trash, or Execute are the skills which do most of your damage. If you watch closely now, I'm soon gonna hit Execute, just as an example here. Now the proc. $28k. And as you saw, my mastery is very low. So even with this low mastery, you can hit very, very high numbers. Also on creeps. Just make sure to cap your crit rating. This is very important. Another high hit here. Okay, let's stop here. It's no problem to get about 7k DPS even with this low mastery. Yeah, Execute is by far the highest hitting skill, followed by Trash and Bash. The bleed damage from Bash may not seem too high, but keep in mind that Bash can stack up to 3 times and will do a lot of your damage this way. Okay, let's move on to the legendary weapon. In my opinion, there are not as many important legacies for your legendary weapon as there are on other classes. I suggest 3 important legacies: the +% chance for attacks to return some of your wrath, the execute damage, and the beer form damage. The execute damage is very important, as execute is your highest hitting skill as shown before, and the plus beer form damage is a must-have legacy as well, because obviously it will increase your beer damage, or the damage of all your beer skills, by a big amount. And these are the 3 legacies I suggest. You might think the Call to Wild Physical Mastery legacy is a must-have as well, but to be honest, I don't suggest, or well, you can use it, but it's not important to use it. And the reason it's not important is mostly every time I use my Call to Wild skill, I will switch my weapon. And so the legacy does not affect my skill anyway. I switched my weapon because, as you can see, the legacy has a duration of 15 seconds. By switching the weapon, you can get your legacy up to 25 seconds, which means you get an extra 10 seconds of Call to Wild. And this 10 extra seconds are, in my opinion, by far better than the plus mastery you get. As in these 10 extra seconds, you not only spend less wrath, but you also gain more wrath, which means you can stay much longer in beer form and do a lot of more damage. Let's move on to the class item. For the red line, which I play 90% of the time, there are 2 important legacies to have, which are the plus man form damage and the plus beer form crit defense. Here again, you might think the harden legacy is important, but for the red line, it does not affect your healing abilities in any way, because in red line you will use your trait tree to get your harden to composure, and composure in red line is a % healing based skill. That's the reason my morale is that high, because you can heal a lot with this skill. But by doing so, the legacy, as I said, does not affect your composer skill anymore. So the harden heal just affects my healing ability when I'm in blue or yellow line. And the other legacies are just mostly for healing. In redline, as I said, you may mainly use the man form and beer crit defense. Okay, let's quickly scroll over my stats to give you a quick overview of all I got. As I said, make sure to cap your crit rating. I was just too lazy to farm my class item. the pocket item, sorry, you need to defeat rolling threads for it, and I was just lazy to do it. But I suggest get this item and put another crit essence into it, because crit is the most important thing with your Beorning. Your finesse should be at least 15k, 15,000. I suggest going even higher. My mastery is low, as you already seen before. My tactical mastery is very low as well. You just need it for healing. And my physical mitigation, tactical mitigation is, well, my physical mitigation is kept. My tactical mitigation is not that high as well. And finally, let's get to the trade points. The 3 different trade trees. Let's start with the healing trade tree. Mostly all of my points are spent in the yellow line here. But there's one trick I'd like to share with you. First of all, make sure to always in every line put your 3 points into the hardened heart legacy to get to build your wrath faster. And now to the trick. I suggest trading or putting 3 points into the sacrifice skill. The sacrifice skill is sort of a minor version of the Shield of the Dunedain skill from the captain. You can put it on any friend. He or she doesn't need to be in your fellowship, and you will take 50% of the damage he or she takes and redirect it to yourself. By that you can save your friend. And by putting 3 points into sacrifice in the healing line, every time the target is being hit, you get +5 wrath, which means your wrath will stay high all the time the skill is up. And this is very nice, because this means you can pretty much heal spam during the duration. So I highly suggest putting the 3 points into this legacy. Okay, let's check the blue line. The blue line is the Beorning's tanking line, and I only use this line in the moors when the Freeps are extremely outnumbered, or when I know that there's a big walk pack around. Don't know if you saw my last video. In the end of the video against the many walks, I use this line to make sure I don't die within seconds. This line grants you a lot of mitigation, and the thickened hide skill, which is the main reason this line is so strong or so tanky. Yeah, the skill says it all. It reduces the damage and heals a lot. And the skill got a duration of 15 seconds, which is not that long. But then again, I got my switch weapon to get the duration up to 25 seconds again, which means you cannot be defeated for about 25 seconds, which is very cool. And there's one cool thing about this line, which I really love to use in the moors. By trading lumber, using rush in beer form causes your next attack to knock down your target. Normally you just hit one target with a Beorning, but in the blue line you get your Thunderous Roar skill converted to a radius skill of 10 meters. So if you use rush and Thunderous Roar after that, all the enemies within 10 meters of your radius will get knocked down. That is very cool. You can also see this in my last video where I knocked down about 6 Fawkes. So this is very handy to use. You can run into a lot of creeps, use the skill and get away. Very cool. Always make sure to put 1 point into slam in any line to get the ability to heal when being behind your target. Yeah, I think that was all for the blue line. So let's finally have a look into my main line, the red line, which I, as I said, play 90% of the time. I'm just gonna scroll over all the skills I use here. Make sure to use this. This is very important. Put at least one, or not at least, just put 1 point in here. It's very, very cool to have, because with this, anytime you will hit your target from behind, you will get a self-heal, and the self-heal can be very high. Let me just quickly show you. As you saw, it was over 3000 morale healed, and the skill got a very low cooldown. So make sure to put 1 point in there, it's really worth it. Let's continue. Yeah, all the execute skills are really very important to slot, because this will ensure you get the execute proc chance, which increases your damage output by a lot. It's really absolutely necessary to slot. I got 3 points put into crippling stings. I'd put 5 points in if I had all my trade points, but as you can see, I still lack 2 trade points. Make always sure to put all your points into composure. It's really important to have. And as you can see, I've got quite a lot of points put into the blue line, which is, in my opinion, the most effective way to go when fighting one in the moors. Armor Crush, you get plus 15% incoming damage on the target you use the skill on. Not only you, but all your friends. So make sure to slot it. This is very nice and a really good skill. And finally, the reason I spent that many points into blue to get the heal from the blue line. Let me quickly show you how much it heals. Yeah, as you can see, quite a lot on a very low cooldown. And Composure's cooldown is much longer, so combining these two, the Beorning got a massive healing output. Finally, I will show you my virtues. They are very low, but just make sure to focus on mitigation and resistance. I was too lazy to get my mitigations up. Maybe I will do it in the future. Let's see. Beorning is very strong anyway. Okay. I think I've shown you all I wanted to. I hope this video was helpful. I'm sorry for it being that long, but I just wanted to give you a overview over the whole class. If you got any more questions, feel free to ask me. Feel free to write in the comment section down below, or just to write me a mail in the game. Many thanks for watching, guys. Many thanks for writing comments below my YouTube videos. I really appreciate this. Thank you, and see you in the game soon. Bye bye. Thank you.